What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while and check the game on out. Your comlink chirps and Kindly Chang's rusty voice slides through the speaker. You can hear the sounds of Mahjong players laughing in the background. It's Auntie Chang, dear. You've been gone for a while, Auntie. I wondered when you were coming back. I'm here now, and I have a present for you, little one. She sounds like a big cat sitting triumphant on the carcass of a wildebeest. I have a lead on the location of the plastic-faced man, the man we saw in the surveillance footage meeting Raymond Black at the tea house on the docks. The one who killed him. Not according to Mr. Gunshow. He still believes his father's alive. Never know, I guess. True, you never know, but it's rare in my experience for things like this to end positively. Now get off the comm and come see me, little one. We have preparations to discuss. So wait, is that the... Oh, good. Your experience has increased your ability to operate in dangerous situations. Yay! 3 AP for me. Let us see what we can see on our karma screen. How many rhymes can I fart out right now? Probably several. I don't know. I'm in like an ornery mood right now. I'm trying to get things done, and unfortunately, once again, one of those busted ass got nothing done type of days. So what we have remaining right now, I didn't really want to drop a whole lot of points on just random fighting skills, and so honestly, I'd prefer to keep things localized around our combat for right now, unless there's anything super pertinent that we need to get. Oh, it'll give drone armor too. That's pretty good. Huh. I suppose we could go 6 and then save the 3 for later. I could go in on ESBs. Well, none of those seem to be like super interesting to me. I spent a lot more time shooting than anything else, so I figure I'll probably go increases to hit by 20%, gives 2 armor, okay. Well, I'll probably go super deep in this one anyways, because then once I do that, it'll grant me the free space to fiddle around with all that stuff before anything else goes wrong. Got a little bit of extra rifle skill right there so that we can shoot the gunses a little bit better. Let's go get paid, shall we? What other things do I have to do right now? I've got to have like a bunch of missions, right? We can go to Shenyang and blackmail Neville Ma, or we can hear Kindly Chang's information. Let's go back over here. We'll take... Oh, look, people leveled up again, too. So apparently that must have been the engagement of a century, because everybody else is feeling pretty good right now. Gobbet now carries a Devil Rat Spirit Fetish in her standard equipment, or we can go with Spell Plague Barrier. Gobbet gains a Conjuring spell, which sets 4 heavy cover barriers that last for 4 seconds. That's a really, really good spell. However, that's also a really, really good spell. So essentially, we're deciding whether we want to be really, really defensive or whether we really want to be offensive with her. Considering, I feel like this one's kind of a coin flip. Both are really good. If you get caught out of cover, this is fantastic. If you have cover already and you just want to attack the enemy and force them on their heels, that one's really good. I'm gonna take I'm gonna go with offensive. I always go with offensive if I have a choice. On this side, he leveled up again. So Red Samurai. We could take a light cover bonus from his metal stance, which is pretty cool. Or he can exude a cloud of disease spores damaging nearby enemies. Is that an AoE? I mean, metal stance is cool and all, but metal stance, as we saw in the last combat, is kind of hit or miss. And that's kind of punny because you hit people with a melee weapon. But I'm going to go with Ghoul, I think, on this one. On this side, we can go with Lethal Force. A full auto fire, I probably won't do that one. Shock Baton. Duncan gains a new weapon, a melee range shock baton. It does 4 HP and 2 damage per hit, but is charged. I'll go with crowd control. That'll play into our strategy with Gaichu as well. And then with our dear friend Isabel, we can give her espionage, which will give us a... Oh, so she can't be stunned anymore. She gets like shocked back to 1 HP or 1 AP whenever she's stunned. Or we can give her a Bright Light System Cyber Eye, which means that it blinds an opponent. Okay. I don't know which is... That's pretty useful right there, just because since you get flushed out of cover whenever you get stunned, that could save you some serious problems down the line. Let's take what we've got. I'm happy with the way things have resolved. I think that our characters are building up really, really finely. I'm excited about it. So let's go back down here. We're going to take a look at Kindly Chang's to see what we can get locked in. Once that's all nice and done, we'll go back out and we'll try and finish a few more objectives before we quit. So we have Dr. Shenyang here again. What are you, slow? I got nothing else for you till you get the dirt on Ma. No, well, whatever. Get out of here then. I'm gonna go talk to my lady. Kindly Cheng is in the midst of emptying 2 plastic shopping bags when you enter. She places the contents into a pile on her mahjong table. 2 liquor bottles without labels, a mix of her thin black cigars, an assortment of individually wrapped gourmet chocolates, and a large caliber pistol with electrical tape wrapped around its grip. Ah, good. You're here. She finishes with the plastic bags and throws them onto the floor. Seems like forever since we saw each other. Oh, forever? You haven't been gone that long, Auntie. No, I haven't. That was just something Nightjar used to say to me. Chang smiles wistfully every time he saw me. While I was away, I met with several contacts within my network who referred me to others in neighboring cities. Regardless of how far technology moves forward, tradition demands that some things be handled face to face. I have information that will lead you to the man who killed Raymond Black. Excellent. And while you were gone, I uncovered a relationship between Josephine Sang and Raymond Black. The triad woman's eyes narrow. Did you? And what was it that you've uncovered? Let's see here. The man who raised us isn't Raymond Black. He's Edward Sang, the son of Josephine Sang. You were raised by Josephine's son? Her brow furrows. That explains where Edward went when he disappeared years ago. Seattle. What happened? I don't know, just that he went missing after Josephine completed rebuilding the walled city, and that was in the early 30s. Her face twists into a mask of disgust. You realize what this means, don't you, my sweet? That inbred little goat whore was cold enough to have her own son executed. Even more reason to find the plastic-faced man. What if you find out? Everything you need to move forward. She grabs a bottle and opens it. I know the identity of the plastic-faced man. His name is Lee Tai Lung, and he's an independent contractor, a trusted, deniable asset who handles all of Josephine Sang's more delicate operations off the books and away from the public eye. Plastic-faced man is her shadowy right hand outside of the corporation. Chang doesn't bother with a glass. She takes a long pull off the stinking bottle, wipes her mouth with the back of her hand, and I know how to find him, too. I made contact with an information broker, Zhao Ji, who works out of the abandoned night market in Shek Kip Mei, called the Xing House Court. It's not hard to find. She takes another pull from the bottle. Zhao Ji has gained access to the plastic-faced man's complete itinerary, where he'll be, who he'll be with, that sort of security, or what sort of security he'll have, and the works. She grins glassy-eyed. You can use it to perform an extraction, grab him and find out what he knows. Great. The faster we find him, the faster we get our revenge. True, but you can't just pull him out of his car and hit him until he tells you what you want to know. Lee Tai Lung designed himself to be the perfect corporate operative. He's installed a unique piece of headwear. It allocates and compartmentalizes client-related memories so that they can be erased upon the completion of a job. As an added security measure, his cortical implant will wipe his memory if it detects that he's been captured. Seriously? He can just wipe out everything having to do with Sang Mechanical Services? It's all part of his branding, apparently. Unless you can find a way to around the cortical implant, you'll have no way to extract the information he has and figure out what happened to Raymond Black. She circles the mouth of the bottle with her index finger. Now, I've done my part in this, darling. You need to find a way to neutralize that device. Isabel interjects, her voice breaking slightly as she speaks. I know a way. I heard something like this before. I met somebody in the Matrix who had to shirk a similar memory wipe implant one time. It was a requirement for a big job, and she pulled it off. Keep talking. Her handle's Dreamland, and I know where to find her. All we have to do now is convince her to give up any secret how she did it. Okay, Isabella and I will go see Dreamland before we hit the information broker, and then we'll grab the plastic-faced man. No matter who you choose to help, you snatch this guy, I'm gonna be there when you extract the information from him about Raymond. He crosses his arms across his chest and tilts his head towards you. You got it, Pop-Tart? We should all be there. Goblet eyebrows arch high. I know that I want to see this. Very good, my darlings. Now listen to me. After you get what you need from the plastic-faced man, I want you to end him. You understand? The Triad boss taps the table with her finger. I need to send a very clear message that this is what happens when you mess with Kindly Chang's operations, with Kindly Chang's people. Josephine takes Nightjar. I take her plastic-faced man. Once you snatch the plastic-faced man, Sang will know something is happening, and events will unfold very quickly after that. You best close out any pressing business you have before heading to Shek Kip Mai to see Zhao Ji. You understand? Cool. Once I snatch the plastic-faced man, I turn off the lights in the Shadowrun store and lock the door. Check. Such a colorful way of saying it. She kindly wraps on the mahjong table with an imitation ivory tile. Just be sure your affairs are in order before you head to see the information broker. Oh shit, I think we only have one job. I think we got this guy's job right here for Neville Mon. I mean, we don't even really need to do that. We could just, like, jump into the next conflict and do that sort of thing. I think that's probably what I'm more into anyways right now, just because the whole doing missions over and over again thing is not doing it for me. I kind of like to jump into this thing and see if we can resolve it. The last couple combats have gone really, really simply anyways, and so I'm not really that concerned about the way this is going to go down. I feel like we're ready. We will open the jobs directory. Let's go ahead and close out our payment for the Eastern Tiger data. You got paid 1,000 right there. T-Gath, right? I appreciate your conviction in sticking with the job despite the complications involved. You definitely earned some money on this job. You paid us $1,000? Huh. Well, there goes my plans for a fun weekend. I was planning on blowing through some new yen right now. Unfortunately, if we only got shelled out 1,000, that means I don't think we'll be upgrading to like any new decks or any new rigging equipment or anything along those lines. Little bit disappointing because I was hoping we'd actually get paid out like 35 or 3 or in there somewhere. I do think that the payments seem a little bit low in this title, but what are you going to do? It's not like I'm going to send it back. You know, I'll take that 1,000 instead of anything. I assume that the reason the money is represented in the way that it is because in previous games, they would give you a readout that told you all the ways the money was being split. So you got paid like 25,000 new yen, but then you would have like the fixer's fee, you would have all this random stuff happening, and so at the end you would end up with like 2,500 left over. I actually liked that feature a lot because it dispelled any mystery of where the money all went to or what the logic was of the payment scheme. And I've talked about that before, but I missed that in this game. I wish that it was back. Let's go check out our decking accessory front. Who is this? A human figure stands in Lost Technology Palace, face obscured by a smooth mirrored mask. Probably male, but it's not certain. The figure wears a Wampoan badge on its cheap raincoat. I am the temporary merchant representative until a permanent replacement is assigned. How may I assist you? Where's maximum law? I do not know of a maximum law. My job is not to know anything. How may I assist you? Alright, well I guess maximum law has disappeared. Oh man, right around the time I go broke, all the good gear shows up too. I am so disappointed with myself right now. Look at all these cool upgraded programs and whatnot that we have. We have a Fairlight Excalibur up there, which in the lore is like one of the greatest decks you can ever have. They are rare. They're hard to come by. They don't get made that much, which is weird considering how much everybody in the universe talks about them. They're really hard to come by, which is very, very strange. Normally, when something is super valuable and everybody wants it, they produce the shit out of it, and then they charge you 3 times as much, hence Mac products or Apple products. And then they just make a fortune. But for whatever reason, Fairlight Excalibur never ramps up production. I don't know. The Fire Fetish I'll get rid of as well. I'm trying to get paid right now. We are broke at the moment, and I need more money. Phosphorus Grenade I don't really care about, so we'll sell that off. That'll get us up to 2,200, but that's still not enough to get us into a Fairlight Excalibur or anything like that. I think we may have to do the other mission. We may not have a choice. We may need to jump in on Neville Maw. Alright, let's go take Neville then. We'll do this as quickly as we can, but unfortunately, since our cash flow is so light, I'm feeling like we really aren't advancing our gear right now. We do have decent gear, but I'd like to have like really solid gear before the money-making train decides to end. Let's go to Repulse Bay Motel and we'll dig up some information on Neville Maw. I'm going to bring the same team that I always do. Bring my guys in here. I do like some of the ones that you pay for, but the cost is too prohibitive. They are a lot better, but I see no reason to ever bring them along, especially given the limited nature of the payments that you get from the missions. So since the money is so low, it's just kind of like one of those things where you never quite have the money to hire any of these guys. They are way better than your defaults, but 500 new yen's like half the payment for an entire job. Like, you're going to cut this guy in 50% on everything for one person? No, nobody would do that. Not in a campaign, not ever. Did I get everybody equipped? Hold on, let me take a look here. I'm sure it's fine. You arrive at the eponymously named Repulse Bay, a gleaming hotel and apartment building on the shores of Repulse Bay, Hong Kong Island. Rolling storm clouds choke the sky, lending the structure a sinister appearance. As you push through the doors and into the building, a sudden break in the clouds reveals a sun that's gone red as blood. You make your way into a ground floor elevator. The attendant pays you no mind. As the car begins to climb, you hear the sounds of merriment drawing closer, and as the doors slide open, you find Neville Maw's party in full swing. I don't remember exactly what we were supposed to do here, but I remember we were supposed to do something. I'm sure it'll be okay. Gabbit, you want to bring that along with you just in case? You never know. She gets the rat spirit totem every single time she respawns in. But I do like the equipment in this game a little bit better, like how your guys start with new stuff as you get further and further in. The elevator disgorges you onto the mezzanine with little fanfare. I feel like I've been vomited. That sounds terrible. Off in the distance, you can hear the sounds of drinking glasses, carefree laughter, and the silverware on china. We should discuss our approach, Splattercat. I would recommend searching the apartment as a first course of action. I am somewhat dubious about the idea of crashing the party. We ghouls are seldom welcome at such events. Sure, but Neville Ma and Penelope Wong will be at the party. If we don't bluff our way in, we can't talk to them. Dr. Shen Yang is paying us to find out how Ma is up and walking so quickly after the accident. Talking to the guy would probably be a good idea. Alright, the party's too high visibility for my liking. Let's try the apartment first. I agree, for obvious reasons. Lead on, Splattercat. We will follow. I like how he just speaks for everybody. Let's go ahead and bust into wherever we can go. What is this over here? Hey, we got a jack point. I'll deal with that in just a minute. Let's go after the main... Oh, the elevator takes us up. Okay, well, we'll jack point in real fast. That looks like maybe some kind of mezzanine, perhaps. What's that blue objective right there? Go to Ma's party. Okay, gotcha. Well, let's jump into the Matrix real fast. This is what I'm here for, isn't it? I love playing Deckers. They're the best. We'll take all of our abilities with us, and then we'll be in. I don't think there's going to be too many problems up inside of here, but you never know. We got 30 trays to play with. That is not very much. Ooh, I'm glad I didn't do that. Okay. Whew. I think that's our opening right there, but we got to time it just right. Nah, I could have gone right there. I hesitated, though. Anytime you hesitate on shit like this. There. Ah! Alright. Let's blaster this little bastard. Ew. I'm gonna get behind cover then, and he can just, like, sort out what he wants to do. There's 20. We have a little bit more time to play with. We might... Oh, my God, the misses. Starting to think the percentages are not accurately represented. Starting to believe it, actually. Because we missed so many 80, 90%. Shit. Well, there's no black ice in here, is there? Oh, that nuked me. Great. Okay, probably should have noticed that too. Did that cost me? How much AP did that cost me? Let's get you down. Throw a medic on myself. I don't know. The last couple episodes, we've been missing like a lot of 80% hits. Like a lot of them. Like 1 in 5 should be where that comes out to. And while obviously there's going to be some... Obviously there's going to be some mild variation in that regard. Unfortunately, we seem to be missing a lot of our hits. I'm going to get into the data core real fast. So you can search for information. Welcome to the Repulse-based Central Data Hub. Please state your query. We'll look for information on Neville. Ma, Neville, resident, penthouse, apartment number 2. Apartment door code 1635. So that's good. Other records. Events. 1 event found. Yellow Springs Films private party. Mezzanine level. Front desk indicates 6 unclaimed invitations. Download invitation. Yeah, we'll take that too. So now we got a party invitation. So that'll be good. We've got a pay data in there as well. You download a series of files detailing expansion plans into the ground floor of the hotel. These might be valuable to local construction firms. Maintenance logs. Reams of data flood the screen. Everything's organized by way of reference numbers. It's an incredibly obtuse and confusing system. Without knowing what to search for, there's little of value here. Okay, well, I guess we're done then. Let's get up out of Dodge. I don't think this is going to set off like a wide alarm, but it should be okay, I think. In real Shadowrun, when you set off an alarm like this, it's usually a really, really bad thing. Then again, usually in a Shadowrun tabletop, they'll give you a little bit more leeway than tripping one alarm. I mean, that came down to, do we miss our attack or not? If yes, then, well, the whole alarm goes off. It wasn't a hard fight anyway, so it's not a big deal, but take the elevator to the penthouse floor. Take a look up and in here for the keypad. It was 1C. It's weird that I remember this. 1635. I don't remember numbers very well. It looks like we could have just used astral projection anyways to figure it out. So how that works is that when a living thing touches anything or comes into contact with anything repeatedly, you leave an imprint in the ether, in the astral plane. And so wizards and magicians and shamans and all those guys can see, you know, frequently. Like, let's say you really, really have like a sentimental attachment to something in this bookcase over here. A mage would be able to detect that because you would have imbued it with a little piece of your own soul. It's so cold that we can see our breath. That's weird. Rows and rows of finely tailored suits, custom shoes, and various accessories fill the room. Okay. We've taken a look at Moss accessories. The liquor cabinet is full of expensive wines and spirits. Several decanters sit atop it, but one in particular catches your eye. A bottle of brilliantly red wine. You take a gulp and gag. The wine's warm, given the temperature of the room, and disgustingly salty. What is wrong with you, man? Do you usually dip into people's wine collections while illegally searching their houses? But look at that color. It's begging to be drunk. I don't give a damn how it looks. We break into an apartment and you dribble your DNA all over the booze locker? He pulls an alcohol swab from his belt pouch and wipes off the mouth of the decanter, mumbling angrily to himself. He shakes his head. I swear, it's like you're allergic to common sense. Well, technically, I thought it was blood. I wanted to taste it and find out if it was blood because I think this guy's going to be a ghoul. So I did have a logical reason for doing it. Unfortunately, the game didn't give it away that easy. The opposite side of the living room is dominated by a massive security door. It looks much heavier than the exterior apartment door, and it looks like a recent addition. The wall has clearly been reinforced to support it. A series of top-of-the-line commercial-grade maglocks hold the door sealed. It'd be easier to tunnel through the wall than it would be to break them open. A cursory glance at the doorframe reveals no sign of a keypad or jack point, but you do see what appears to be an RFID reader. That's a radio frequency identification. Essentially, it's the same thing they put into your, you know, when your cat gets microchipped. Pretty much the same thing. They just use a radio reader over the top of it. It broadcasts like a simple code or whatever that can be read by radio transceivers or whatever. A 16-digit number has been stenciled onto the side of the reader in red ink. This didn't come with the apartment. It looks new. Mom must have had it put in after the accident. Wonder why he chose to have this done to an interior door. Probably to keep up appearance. Do you imagine how many people would talk if he'd installed this thing in the hallway? Well, one thing is certain. We aren't getting through there without a key. More than likely, that means we have to get one from Ma or from one of his people. We're going to the party, aren't we? I mean, that's the next logical step. Tell me we're going to the party. Alright, let's keep looking around up here. I really don't want to take a ghoul into a party. I feel like it's a bad plan. I feel like that's going to be called bad Shadowrun. Things going terribly. The fridge is well stocked. There's enough food in here to feed a big party. That would make sense considering, you know, he has a party right now. It's pretty clean. Wish I had an apartment I could keep clean like that. Unfortunately, not that guy. Not that guy. My apartment is a sty. It is downright awful. I like how the water turns on when you come in the room. That might just be line of sight, but it gives a cool effect. It's pretty pimpin'. It's pretty top tier. Alright, so since we have the invitation to the party, at least that solves one of our issues for us. It didn't say that a decker was required for this mission, but you definitely kind of want to have one. Go down to the bottom. Then again, why you would do any Shadowrun without a decker would be beyond me. You kind of, they're required. A sullen-looking troll stands on the periphery of the kitchen. He turns to you, shoulders slumping forward, and sighs. No restaurant service tonight. Kitchen staff too busy with the party to serve anybody. Wish I could get onto that balcony. He sniffs the air wistfully. All that delicious food. See, this guy knows what's up. What's so special? Why can't you get in? Yes, only. Guy throwing it seems connected to the trade industry. There are tons of actors in there, and some of them from Promises and Moonlight. He fiddles shyly. You know the show, right? Yeah, of course. I can't wait for the new season. Me too! The twist that Lady Chung in the last episode, what a cliffhanger. I couldn't believe it. Me either. Good luck with the kitchen, buddy. So we have an invitation. This shouldn't be too difficult. Got a waiter on this side. Anybody that I could pickpocket or steal from works for me. The ragged waiter manages to straighten up as you approach. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the veranda at the Repulse Bay. How may I be of service? You look exhausted. Why don't you take a break? Not yet. I can't afford to miss any tips. He sighs. I went to Masao last week and it wiped me out. Bad luck with the horses, you know. I'm in a pretty lucrative trade myself. Care to make a deal? The waiter stares at you suspicious, but his desperation gets the better of him. I'm listening. I need access to a penthouse apartment. Name your price. I've got new yen to spare. Alright, whose apartment? Neville Ma's. 500 new yen in the code. I think we already have that, though. Too rich for my blood. I thought he was talking about the back door, but why would the waiter have that? I think we need, like, direct staff for this to work. Let's get this security guard all nice and taken care of. The security guard stands in front of you on the patio. Private party, pal. Invite. His eyes land on Gaichu and his face goes white. He recoils in horror. What the hell? Ghoul! Ghoul in the lounge! Be silent. His voice comes out in a rasping hiss. Calm yourself. You're going to cause a panic. The guard stares at you, his mouth agape. What the hell do you think you're doing bringing a ghoul in here? Party invitation. He's not a ghoul. He's an HMHVV infected person who happens to be a friend of Penelope Wong, and we have an invitation. He takes the invitation and scrutinizes it, then he looks at you, reluctance plain on his face. Enjoy the party, sir. Probably shouldn't have brought a ghoul to this shindig. But it seemed like a way to liven things up and make it more interesting. I'll see you on the next episode. This is Shadowrun Hong Kong. Check it out down below. Hi do, everybody.